Welcome to Everyday Dish. I have a really fun recipe that I want to make with you today. And the best part is you're going to be making it along with me. So it's an idea I have, and I thought it'd be fun to kind of bring you along for the ride because the recipe, beer battered fried soy curls. I mean, doesn't that sound amazing? I don't know if you've had soy curls before, but if you haven't, they're the coolest thing to cook with. They're high protein. They're made from a whole plant source. They're made from the entire soybean. They're made here in Oregon by a lovely family, and it's Butler Foods. And I am not making any money on this, but I really love soy curls, and I've been using them for years. We used them at our food cart when we had it. And they really, depending on how you cook them, they really resemble meat in a really nice way, texture-wise. So they're also very neutral in flavor, and you can add any kind of flavoring you want to, really jazz them up, which is fun. I mean, that's what we want. So for this recipe, I got the idea to do the beer batter from a recipe from my vegan diner cookbook. And here, let me grab that. Okay, so this is my vegan diner cookbook, and I have a recipe for onion rings, beer battered onion rings in it. And I thought it'd be really fun to do soy curls instead. So as you can see, I wrote notes in here on how to make the batter gluten-free, because I'm gluten-free now. As things change in life sometimes, you just have to sort of go with the flow, I guess. So I figured out how to make it gluten-free, and I've done it as onion rings, and it's amazing. But let's try it with soy curls. I think they're gonna be really good. And then I realized too that I have not shared with you. Here, I'm just gonna put the book back. I have not shared with you how I rehydrate soy curls these days. And it's different than how I used to do it on some of our everyday dish videos. So this is a perfect time for me to show you what I do now with making, rehydrating the soy curls. So first of all, let me show you something. I'm gonna set it right here. This right here, I buy soy curls in a giant bag. I think I forget how many pounds of soy curls it is, but they last at least a year, if not longer, if you keep them someplace cool so that they don't get too hot. And it's great. And then every time I need, soy curls for a recipe, I've got them, and I don't have to open up little tiny bags. So we're gonna use the big bag. And I'm winging this today, but I will put down a recipe so that you have an idea of how, if you want to make it, how, what to do and how much you're going to need. So, all right, I'm going to set you down for a second. There you go. And I'm going to grab the soy curls, and then actually let's just do it right here. We'll do it right here. Okay. So wait a second now. How do I do this? Okay. Yeah, I got to turn it around. Here we go. Can you see that? All right. Hope you can see that. So we're going to open up the soy curl bag. And actually, before we do that, let me get a bowl. So you're going to want to, actually, you know what? We're going to stop for a second. We're going to make the broth first before we put this in. And then that way I can show you what I do a little bit better. So we're going to set that there. We're going to, actually over here, we'll just do this. Okay. We're going to put in some hot water. So I love this because I can, let's see, the dispense, right? No, unlock, there we go. I use this all the time because when I want hot water, which is all the time for rehydrating things or making tea, this is really great. It's from Zoji Rishi, and it always keeps the water hot. I love it. I could just use a tea kettle, but this is so much more convenient. All right, so now we have our hot water, then some sort of stock we need in there. So I like a vegan chicken stock for these. You could do a vegetable broth if you wanted, but this right here, my new favorite, they're made in Australia, and I had heard from friends that live in Australia how awesome these were, and I was just never able to get them, and I was able to find them on Amazon. Here, let me put this down. Let's see, right, can you? Yes, okay. Just setting this down for a second while I open the box. On the bottom. So it comes with all these cubes. These are delicious. This seasoning is really, really good. It's also gluten-free, and most of the other ones on the market do not say gluten-free on there. So it makes me worry as somebody that has to be really careful because I get really sick. I want to make sure that it's really gluten-free. So anyways, here's the bouillon cube. I find that they're very strong, like salty wise. So I tend to use more water with like 1 cube. So I'm gonna put that in, but it will add salt to it. So then we don't have to add any more salt. Okay, and then I'm gonna just take a fork and mash it to get it dissolved. Can you see what I'm doing? All right. This is a whole new way for me to film, so I will get better. I just wanna make sure that you can see everything I do. So there's that. Then what I like to do, here we go for a second so I can use my hands again. Poultry seasoning. This stuff is great. This is from Penzeys, but you could use any poultry seasoning you want, but it's a blend of different herbs and it gives a nice chickeny flavor to there. So I just sprinkle in a little bit. And you'll notice that I didn't measure. I will put the recipe down with measurements, but when you see the technique that I do, it's great if don't need an exact amount for a recipe and you just sort of want to wing your recipe a little bit and how you cook them. It's a great way to do it. Then a little granulated onion. You will notice that I buy all my food in bulk. That's what happens when you're a chef and you've been catering and stuff for years. You just cannot break the habit. So everything is big and large in my tiny kitchen. All right, there we go. We did a little garlic, and now we're gonna do, I'm supposed to be showing you this though as I'm doing it. So, all right, here we go. And then some nutritional yeast flakes, which I also buy in bulk, which is why it's just in a canning jar. That really helps contribute the umami and also the, what else does it add? It just adds a nice savory flavor to it, and it really sort of adds to the chickeny flavor, I think, in that. So this is our mix right here. We could also add white pepper, but I don't see any at the moment. So I'm gonna just quickly run over here and see if I have white pepper, and I do not. I mean, I have it. I just don't know where I have it. Oh, but I have black pepper. But white pepper really contributes to the flavor too, to that sort of chickeny flavor. So here we're gonna, can you see that? Okay, we're gonna add in a lot of black pepper. So now we have a really nice broth. I do suggest that you go ahead and you taste it because, yeah, you don't want it like too salty. Oh my gosh, this is so good. I would drink this as a soup. It's amazing. So then we're gonna put this over here, and I'm gonna do it this way so you can see. And we're gonna reach in to our big bag, and we're gonna just dump a bunch of soy curls in there. And if you haven't seen soy curls before, they come into these great strips like this, which is really nice. So then they're really fun to use in recipes, especially this one, where we want like some big fried pieces of the soy curls. All right, let's see here. All right. So you mush those down, but what I do that's different now is I add more soy curls and less of the liquid. So I used to have to strain them or drain them or whatever, and it was kind of a pain. So this way, you're not having any leftover broth. And it's okay if it's more than what you want to make, because did you know that you can freeze rehydrated soy curls? You can. And you can also put them in a bag or a container in the refrigerator and use them like over a period of about 5 days. And the texture gets better with the soy curls. They get kind of like firmer and a little bit more meat-like, chicken-like, I guess, in texture. Okay, so this right here, this is still hard on the top, but we're close. So as you can see, we have very little liquid, just enough to rehydrate what's in there. So then what I do is put a lid on it, which I'm gonna do right here. Put a lid and let them rehydrate for about 10 minutes. Another thing you can do if you're in a hurry, and I've done this and it works really well, is you can take that dish and put it in your microwave and put it for like, I don't know, like 30 seconds and maybe another like 20 seconds, and it will just sort of rehydrate them the rest of the way if you're in a hurry. But otherwise, I just let them sit while I'm getting the rest of the ingredients together, and that is how I do soy curls. Now, that's how I do soy curls. So I might change the flavoring. Instead of adding the poultry seasoning, I might add, you know, some curry spice to that or whatever else, but these bouillon cubes work really, really, really well. If you don't have the bouillon cubes, that's cool too. You can do like salt, onion, garlic, nutritional yeast, white pepper. You can do all the seasonings in there and still make it good, but the stock really, or the bouillon cube really makes a difference on that one. So anyways, that is my little infomercial on soy curls, bouillon. I don't know. Do you have any questions? I feel like there should be some questions here. So, all right, we are going to come back in a few minutes when these are done rehydrating, and we're going to make our fried beer batter soy curls, which I can't wait because I'm really hungry, and this can be lunch when we're done. So, see you in a few. Okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add just enough of the carbonated beer and water until we have a thick pancake-like batter. So I'm gonna set you down again while I do this. But can you see in that bowl? I really wish you could tell me. I don't want it to fall over though. All right, well hopefully you can see that. Yes, I'll move the bowl, there we go. All right, so we're gonna whisk in just enough to make a pancake-like batter. It might be the whole thing, but sometimes when I write notes, there might have been something a little different that I did that day. All right. One thing that you'll notice with gluten-free flour is that it will thicken and absorb liquid a little differently than regular flour does. So you'll notice, like at first it seemed like it was going to be too thin, but then it's thickening up. And that is the xanthan gum. If we did not have xanthan gum in here, it would not be doing that. But it's a good thing. You want it to do that. Let's add the rest. Perfect! Yay! And here's our batter. But if I was making this for a crowd, I would definitely double this recipe. Okay, so do you see how it's thick? Like a pancake batter. And you can taste it. Oh, that's good. All right, so the next thing that we want to do is to turn on our oil in our skillet. So I have not a ton, let's see, not even to the first knuckle of my little finger, but just enough to kind of shallow fry. You could definitely add more. I always have to use a lighter for my stove. So, does everybody have one of these for their gas stove? Don't know. But it helps because otherwise we can't get it to light very well. So we're gonna get this hot, and while we're waiting for it to get hot, I just wanted to kind of show you another little trick. When you're frying things, I always take a parchment sheet and put it over a baking tray, and what it does is just makes your cleanup much easier. But then if you have these coffee filters, they work really, really well. They're super absorbent and they work great when you're frying. So I put the parchment down, then like a couple paper towels, and then a few of these. It feels kind of wasteful, but you need something to drain the excess oil, so it's kind of important. And then you also want to make sure that you don't get it too close to your flame, or else you could have a little fire, which may or may not have happened in our kitchen before, so I'm just saying it's usually a good idea to just kind of keep a little distance. And we're gonna wait for this oil to get hot. GoPro, stop filming. GoPro, stop filming. All right, the oil's ready. Get in there. And you can tell that it's ready. Can you see that little soy curl in there, right there? Well, once it rises to the surface, then you know your oil is hot enough. So I'm gonna flip the camera around, and we're going to add in here. We're gonna do it right here. So we're gonna take some of the soy curls. I'm just gonna use these tongs right here and put them in the batter. We got it in the batter. Gonna mix those around to coat. And you know, you just coat them as best you can. It's not really a big deal. Take it out. That looks pretty well coated right there. See that? All right. We're gonna just gently put it into the hot oil. And let's do that again. So we wanna put a bunch of them in there, but not fill it up so much that it reduces the temperature of the oil and makes it too cold, if that makes any sense. So probably I could do about, I don't know, about 3 more at a time. There we go. And here we'll do 1 more. Oops. There we go. Okay, then, now you can do this with a fork or tongs, or you could also use one of these, which is called a spider. I'm gonna put this over here. They all work, but what we're gonna wanna do is once these are golden on the bottom, then we're gonna just flip them over. Carefully though, because they will splash. So probably needs like another moment on those. That's almost ready, but they get really beautifully golden. These are so good. I might have tasted a few between takes. There we go. Oh, yes. So who needs fish and chips, right? Or fried shrimp when you've got beer battered fried soy curls are the way to go. Okay, so we just give it another, like, probably minute, and they should be done. Let me move this a little closer. The tongs work really well because then you have a little bit more grip on them to be able to flip them over. Let's do that. 5 more seconds. Okay. But do you see how beautifully they puff up? Look at that. They're going to be super crisp too. There we go. And you just repeat with the rest of the batter and soy curls with your hot oil. But for the moment, I'm gonna just turn this off and we're gonna put these in a basket. So I like to do it in a basket as if it is like fish and chips or something like that. Let's do that. I get the cute little baskets at a restaurant supply, and then it feels like, you know, like it's the real thing, because it is the real thing, almost. Here we go. Okay, these are going to be really hot. That and the final one. Here we go. All right, you know what? Here, let's put it right here because I want to show you something else that I have discovered. All right, So this right here is rice wine vinegar. It's here. Seasoned rice wine vinegar. All right, I'm gonna flip this around so you can see me. And since, you know, if you're gluten-free, you can't have malt vinegar because malt, it has gluten in it. But the rice vinegar works really well for dipping these in. So these are so amazing in the rice vinegar, but also buffalo sauce. You could mix buffalo sauce and mayo. You can do so many different things. But here, I'm gonna dip one. Probably burn myself, but here we go. I'm gonna dip it in the vinegar. So good. It's hot too. Make sure they cool down a little bit before you eat it. But can you see that? It is so crispy, like amazingly crispy. Now let me see if I can, I don't know if you can hear that, but super, super, super crispy and delicious. So thanks so much for joining me. If you like this video, please like and subscribe down below. And also this recipe, along with all the other recipes, are on my website, which is juliehassan.com or Julie's Kitchenette. And we will have a link below right to the recipe. So then you can go ahead and print it out and make these all the time. So thanks so much for joining me. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.